Good morning and welcome everyone in my channel. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to solve one reading passage from Cambridge book number 13 and reading test number 2, passage 1. And the passage is about bringing cinnamon to Europe at the title. And let's see the questions in this passage. Okay, look at the questions. Complete the notes below. Question number 1 to 9. Question number 1 to 9. Then number of code is only 1. And here the early history of cinnamon and biblical times. Let's see here this capital question 1 to 9. Then another type of question is true false not given. Okay, the Portuguese had control over the cinnamon trade throughout the 16th century. Okay, the keyword is throughout, from beginning to the end. Okay, let's see the questions. Biblical times added to. Okay, the keyword is added to. Now let's find out biblical times here in the passage. Let's just quickly search the keyword biblical time. Okay, here is the keyword. It is known as biblical times and it's mentioned in the several books of the Bible, both as an ingredient that was mixed with oils. Okay, here okay, mixed with oils for annotating people's bodies. Then here the keyword of the question is added to. Added to is mixed. Then the question keyword is paraphrased and the answer for the question number 1 is oils. Okay, look at the end of the question and used to show between people. Okay, so between people. Okay, let's look at so between people. Okay, and also token indicating friendship among lovers and friends. Okay, here is the keyword. Indicating means so, friendship among lovers and friends. Among means between people, among lovers and friends. Then the answer for the question number 2 is friendship. Okay, look at the end of the question number 3. And then we shall look here. Ancient Rome used for its sweet smell at. Okay, used for its sweet smell at. Okay, ancient Rome. Okay, in ancient Rome, here is the keyword. Here is the keyword ancient Rome. Mourners attending funerals burn cinnamon to create a pleasant scent. Okay, then mourners attending funerals burnt cinnamon to create a pleasant scent. Pleasant means scent means the smell. Then the answer is attending funerals. Okay, answer for question number 3 is funerals. Okay. Let's find out another question. Middle Ages added to food, especially meat, was an indication of a person's. Okay, what the cinnamon indicated. Okay, let's see. Middle Ages. The keyword of the question is Middle Ages. In Middle Ages, Europeans who could afford this fish used it to flavor food, particularly meat, and impress those around them with their able to purchase an expensive condiment of the exoticist. At the banquet, the host would offer guests a plate with various species piled upon it as a sign of wealth. Okay, here is the course. Sign means the indication of the wealth of his or disposal. Then here is the keyword. Look here. Was an indication of a person's. It was person's wealth. Then, while and it was a sign of the wealth of his or her disposal. Exactly. The answer for question number 4 is wealth. Look at another question and see, known as a treatment for. Okay, this was the treatment for in other health problems. Let's look at what it was used for as a treatment or medicine. Cinnamon was also reported to have health benefits. Exactly, health problems. Yeah. Was thought to cure means treatment, various ailments, various disease, treatment for various diseases such as indigestion. Okay. The answer for the question number 5 is indigestion. Question number 5. Okay. In the first paragraph, we didn't find anything about Portuguese or control over cinnamon trade. Okay. And from the first passage, 5 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions have been taken. Let's look at question number 6, grown in. Where was this cinnamon grown in especially? Okay. End of the Middle Age, in Middle Ages, the European middle classes began to desire the lifestyle of the elite, including their consumption of spices. This led to a growth in demand of cinnamon and other spices. At that time, cinnamon was transported by Arab merchants who closely guarded the secret of the source of the spice from potential rivals. They took it from India. Cinnamon. They took it from India where it was grown. Then cinnamon was grown in India. Was grown in India. Is question number 6. Okay. Question number 6. It was grown in India. Question number 7. Merchants used to order that breed to bring it to uh, Mediterranean. Merchants used. Okay, let's see. Merchants used Mediterranean to bring it Mediterranean. Okay, on camels via over an overland route to the Mediterranean. Then the answer is very easy that they used camels. Question number 7. Okay, now let's look at another question. Arrived in the Mediterranean at. Arrived means reached, and the Mediterranean at. Let's look at. Their journey ended when they reached Alexandria. Okay, the answer is here. Alexandria. They ended. It was the end of their journey when they reached to Alexandria. Then the answer for question number. The answer for question number 8 is Alexandria. Okay. Now, let's look at another question. Traders took it to. Okay, the cinnamon. Traders took cinnamon to and sold it to destination around Europe, and it was the final point or the destination from where they sold the cinnamon across Europe. Let's see. What's European traders means the merchants or businessmen sell there to purchase their supply of cinnamon, then brought it back to Venice. Okay, they brought it to Venice. This spice then traveled from that great Trading city. Trading city. Okay. Here is the question. Okay. For answer for question number 9. Question number 9. Okay. Now we have done this all question 1 to 9. Now let's look at the question. Question says the Portuguese had control over cinnamon trade in Ceylon throughout the 16th century. Okay, let's find out Portuguese. And the Portuguese here below this monopoly. Uh, no, there is no area for question number 9. Now looks in the question. Okay, here is the keyword Portuguese. Okay, traders arrived on the island of Ceylon in the island ocean towards the end of the 15th century. They arrived here in Ceylon, and then Europeans arrived on the island. The state had organized cultivation of cinnamon. People belonging to the ethnic group called the uh, Salagama would peel this. Okay. Was during the peeling process, they curl the bark into the sticks still associated with today. Salagama then gave the finished product to distribute. When Portuguese arrived, they needed to increase, let's say, production significantly and so enslaved many other members of the Ceylonese native population, forcing them to work in cinnamon harvesting. In 1518, Portuguese built a fort of Ceylon, which enabled them to protect the island, so helping them to develop a monopoly in the cinnamon trade and guarantee very high profits. In the late 16th century, for example, they enjoyed a tenfold profit when shipping cinnamon over the journey of 8 days from this Ceylon to India. Okay, then here question says they arrived at the end of the 15th century and they were still ruling, or let's say they were dominating the cinnamon trade in the late 17th century. Then when the Dutch arrived off the coast of the southern Asia at the very beginning of the 17th century. Okay, read the 17th century. Then from the, let's say, late 15th century to the end of the 15th century to the late 16th century, the Portuguese had the overall, let's say, control on the cinnamon trade. Okay, in the 17th century, the Dutch they arrived. Then here the meaning of the question and the passage is exactly same. Then the answer for question number 9 is true. Okay, look at the end of the question. The Dutch took over cinnamon trade from the Portuguese as soon as they arrived in Ceylon. Alright, as soon as immediately. Question says Dutch took over the cinnamon trade from the Portuguese as soon as they arrived. Okay, let's see how long did Dutchmen struggle to take. When Dutch arrived off the coast of the South Asia, when the Dutch arrived at the coast of South Asia at the beginning of the 17th century, they set their sight on displacing the Portuguese as the kings of cinnamon. Portuguese were known as the kings of cinnamon. The Dutch allied themselves with Kandy, an inland kingdom on Ceylon. In return, the payments of the elephants and cinnamons, they protected native king from the Portuguese. By 1640, the Dutch were 150 years monopoly when they overran, acquired their factories. By 1658, they had permanently expelled the Portuguese. Okay. 1640, okay, they broke, and then in 1658, after 18 years, they completely expelled the Portuguese. Then look at the question. As soon as no, they couldn't take the control as soon as. But it took exactly 18 years for the Dutch people. So the answer for question number 11 is false. Look at another question. The trees planted by the Dutch produce larger quantities of cinnamon than the wild trees. Okay. The Dutch they planted produced larger quantities than the natural trees or wild cinnamon trees. And no area to this market Dutch particularly for them. Did the native inhabitants harshly because of the need of boost production and satisfy Europe's increasing appetite for cinnamon, the Dutch began to alter the harvesting practices of Ceylonese. The supply cinnamon trees on the island became nearly exhausted due to the systematic stripping of the bark. When the Dutch began cultivating their eventually the Dutch began cultivating their own cinnamon trees to supplement the diminishing number of wild trees available use. Look at the question. It doesn't make any sense, I guess. The trees planted by the Dutch produce larger quantities of cinnamon than the wild trees. There is no information. Okay, they just planted to save the trees. This is not given. And the space stress mentioned its economic importance, maintained its economic importance during 19th century, during its beginning to end 19th century. Okay, let's look at the question. Economic importance. Thereby displacing the Dutch from the control of the cinnamon monopoly by the middle of the 19th century, production of cinnamon reached 1,000 tons a year after a lower grade quality of the species became acceptable to European taste. By that time, cinnamon was being grown in other parts of the Indian Ocean region and in the West Indies, Brazil, and Guinea. Not only was the monopoly of cinnamon becoming impressive, but also spice trade overall was diminishing. Okay, but spice trade overall was diminishing in economic potential and was eventually superseded. It was dominated by the rise of trade in coffee, tea, chocolate, and sugar. Then cinnamon couldn't maintain its economic potentiality. Okay, it was maintained or superseded by the trade. Okay, by the rise of trade in cinnamon, tea, chocolate, and sugar. And here the question says the space trade mentioned no, it couldn't maintain. Okay, it couldn't maintain its economic one. It was by the business of chocolate, whatever. So answer for this question is false. Okay. Before we look at the answers, let's look at the questions. We have done one type of question here, then another question true false here from here. It was question number 10. Okay. It was question number 10. And here we got question number 11. Question number 12 not given. Here we got question number 13 answer. Okay, let's quickly check the answers. I guess we got all the answers. Or let's see. Let's look at the questions. Okay. Our first question was oils, no doubt. Second answer was friendship between lovers was there among. Yeah. And at the funerals, okay. Wealth, it was person's wealth. Indigestion, India, camels, Alexandria, Venice. It was true. False, Google not given. 13, false, not false. We got all the answers, I guess. I'll be solving other questions in the days ahead. Just keep on thoughts. And I hope this lesson has been fruitful to you. Okay. Bye bye and stay tuned.